What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shreyas and in this video we are going to talk a lot about fitness and how you should be, doing things in order to get a good body transformation. You're going to see my body transformation from 2014, but I made a lot of changes over the past few years and I'm going to discuss a lot of that and how my transformation could also be better than what it actually was. Even though I think my transformation was really good for the amount of work I put, I still believe there are a lot of things that I could have done better, and that I will discuss with you all in this video. The reason I'm doing a podcast kind of thing is because sometimes, sitting in front of the camera and talking for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you guys might not enjoy those parts, right? So what I'll do is I'll overlay a lot of clips here, and you guys can, watch few of the things that I do or I did, and eventually, you can understand what it takes. Now, first of all, I'll tell you one thing. It takes a lot of time to transform. Now, we all have different standards for a body transformation, but if you want a kind of transformation where you have built a lot of muscle and lost a lot of fat, then it will take time. No matter what you want to achieve in life, it will take time. Sometimes by luck you get instant success, but for that as well you might have done something over the past few years that has helped you reach that level. So no matter what you do in life, it will take time, especially when it comes to changing or developing a human body. First, I'll tell you guys that human body is not supposed to be very huge or very skinny. A human body is supposed to be somewhere around 14 to 15 or 16% body fat with decent amount of muscle. So that is something we can call a healthy human body. Now beginners, now I was a beginner when I started. It is way easy, when you're a beginner, and especially if you are a teenage beginner. I started my fitness journey when I was 17 years old, and by 19 I had a pretty good physique. So the younger you start, the better for you, because when you are at 16 years or 17 years, your body starts producing more hormones, especially testosterone, and your testosterone amounts will be so much that it actually gets converted into female sex hormone, that is estrogen or estrogen. So when your body releases too much testosterone, what happens is it gets aromatized into estrogen, and you get certain features like puffy nipples or gynecomastia. And that is why usually younger people, like who are at the age of 18 to 23, tend to get gynecomastia, right? So when you're a beginner, you can put on lot of muscle and burn a lot of fat. So start young. That is the first message that I would like to give to the people who are looking to transform. If you are still young, then great, start right now, because when you're young, everything comes easy. Your recovery, even if you don't get enough sleep, you will get results very very fast. Okay. Now another thing, for Indians, since I cater to Indian audience, what I would like to tell you is that Indians do not have to do things differently. The basic laws of building muscle and losing fat applies to everyone in the world. That is what surprises me when I see videos on YouTube, Indians titling it as the weight loss for men, or weight loss for Indians, or diet tips for Indians, or uh, do this for Indians. I do not believe in that, guys. Even though I might have put certain titles where the food sources that were used were exclusive to Indians, but otherwise, for general videos where you're trying to build muscle, I can't title a video saying caloric deficit diet for Indians, or how to check your maintenance calories for Indians. That is not actually true. And Indian genetics is another thing that people have a big or huge misconception about. I've seen a lot of people saying that Indian genetics is such that we are born to be putting on a lot of fat. But yes, India is one of the most obese countries in the world, but United States also is. United States, if you divide it into two, it is the healthiest country in the world and the unhealthiest country in the world. So it all depends on the lifestyle you follow, your dietary habits, and eventually no exercise will cause you to gain a lot of weight and at the end of the day you'll not be healthy. So another thing people say that is because Indian people have desk jobs and their lifestyle is hectic and family life and everything, so that is why Indians tend to be more fat. And again, this is another big thing that that you should just remove from your dictionary, because that is not at all true. As I told you guys, it's all about your lifestyle and the kind of habits you have. If you are a disciplined person with your diet and exercise, you will be healthy, till the day you die, unless something happens which you can't control, right? Now, consistency. When you start off, right, it is very hard to be consistent because you're doing something new. Okay, even though you might get results, it is still hard to do that for a period of time, because it takes little bit time for you in the gym to fall in love with it. I feel falling in love with the gym is really important. I'm not saying be obsessed with the gym where you go to the gym all the time, like twice a day, once in the morning, once in the night, just thinking that it will give you better gains. No, what I'm saying is you need to fall in love with the process. So the process will take some time, and in that way consistency is really important. And pick something that you can stick to. I usually see beginners doing a lot of different things, thinking that that will help them build on more muscle, but that's not the case, guys. Sticking to a proper routine is very important. A wise man once said, your diet is not shit, you are not doing that shitty diet the right way. So even if you're following a shit diet the right way, right, you will get your results. I'm not saying that you should eat junk all the time, but a customized or a non-customized diet will get you some kind of results if you're following it to the fullest. So about customized diets and things, yeah, we can talk later, but what I'm saying is consistency is the key, especially when you're just starting out, because if you're not consistent when you're just starting out, that can lead you to not going to the gym. Like you'll go to the gym once a week or twice a week, you'll take a gap for 2 weeks, and that will not get you the best of the results that you can achieve, right? So another thing is, I feel people do things very fast. I'm not saying don't go to the gym, not about the gym, but the lifestyle in itself. Fitness is not something that you should get addicted to. It is a way of life. Okay, it's just like you going to a job or going to school or going to college. It is as simple as that. So ease into the lifestyle. Like you might know the feeling when you went to a new school or school on the first day. You do not know a lot of people in the school. You feel lonely, you feel a little bit nervous, anxious, and of course, so just like that, even getting into the gym, following a healthy diet will take some time. So just don't jump into fancy diets like ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, or paleo, Atkins, or all these funny kinds of diets that are meant to actually treat medical conditions and not to enhance performance in any way, right? So don't jump into this, because in our country there's a huge trend over all these kinds of specialized diets, or like they call it, right? So you don't have to jump into all this. Like I said, you're providing a new stimulus to your body, so your body will respond. It's just like getting into a new relationship. For a while things go very well, and that after that you might have some issues, but initially it is very easy. So do not worry about that. Things will be good. So ease into this lifestyle. Just don't stop eating or any kind of food that you like, and start eating all the kinds of food that you don't like, right? You need to have a balance of everything, not only when you start, for the rest of your life. We'll talk about that as well in a bit. But easing into the life of fitness. Fitness is a lifestyle, and I honestly believe that when I started my transformation, my life or my social life was really effed up, and I didn't go anywhere with my friends. Even if I went there, I didn't have a good time. They used to give me weird stares because I was doing something that was different. I know we should be achieving our goals, we should sacrifice a lot of things, but what I'm trying to say is you can sacrifice things and also lead a good happy life at the same time. Dieting shouldn't be hard. Again, we'll talk that in a bit. So ease into the lifestyle, guys. slowly start cutting down junk food that you've been eating, which caused you to gain weight. And now that you are exercising, you can also tend to eat, maybe a meal in a couple of days where the caloric consumption is little bit more. So what fitness and what exercising allows you is to eat a little bit more food and get away with it. So get into the lifestyle, ease into the lifestyle. Now once you have eased into the lifestyle, what is more important is to learn. Now for this is exclusive to Indians, because Indian gyms have floor trainers who are always trying to get your attention and to get make some money out of you, which is not bad. They just want to train you, most of them. But there are some trainers, who just want to put in information in your head just to impress you, and always not always the information that they put across will be the right one, right? So what you should be doing is you should do some self learning. And these days, there are so many websites on the internet from where you can learn, few of them being PubMed is slightly for intermediates. Beginners wouldn't understand what is written there, but there are people who do meta analysis or who compile research and put it out on their website. For example, Alan Aragon, Brad Schoenfeld, Brett Contreras, and all these kinds of people have PhD in exercise science or sports nutrition, not just a 6 month certification, or online course. They have PhDs. They have done a lot of studies. They have done a lot of research, and of course their knowledge is one step or 10 steps above every one of us. So we should respect that, and we can go up to people like them and learn from them. And when I started, I didn't have all access to all these things. The content on the internet was not legit. There are too many people, because internet at that time was not, social media at that time was not something so huge. So there are a lot of people putting in information. Of course I don't blame them, but sometimes it's always better to put information with proper knowledge and not just half knowledge. Now that is another thing, the more you learn, the better. I'm not asking you to learn how to program a workout plan or anything. I'm talking about the basics, like how to perform an exercise, what are the best exercises you can do, how to perform this exercise, and what are the benefits of that exercise, what are the functions of the muscles. And these are the few things that you can learn. Now for me, those things are not enough. I have to go into details. I have to learn why, what, when, and everything, right? So for you guys, when you're just starting out, you don't need so much information. Like I said, take the example of a relationship. Everything will be going good initially. Maybe after a year or two, everything comes to a standstill, and then you'll have to improvise, or to change certain things to get or continue the relationship. In similar way, for the first 2 years you'll be making all kinds of gains, and you'll be making 30 to 40% of your lifetime gains in those 2 years. So do not waste those 2 years. And like I said, staying consistent is very important. So if you're consistent for the first 2 years, like you could see, whatever gains that I made over the first 2 years, those gains will be there forever, and those gains will be at least 40% of the gains that I'll be making for the rest of my life. So the more you know, the better, so learn that. Now coming to the dietary part, I've seen a lot of memes or a lot of articles on the internet that say diet is 70%, exercise is 30%, or 80 to 20% or whatever, right? I do not believe in that. I believe exercising and diet are both important, in leading a healthy lifestyle and to reach your goals, especially when your goal is to get a decent physique with enough muscle and very less body fat. So coming to the dietary part, a lot of questions about diet, what kind of food I should be eating for a transformation, what are the food that I should be avoiding, and what are the food that he should be avoiding, or vice versa. And people, I mean, these questions are valid, but I hope with this podcast things get clear, because there's no such thing as bad food or good food. Now if you add one burger in your diet every 2 days, at the same time your overall levels of nutrition are is good, you will not be having an issue. Of course burgers are not the best or the healthy food that you can eat to get to your goal, but what I'm saying is, for you to sustain any kind of diet or any kind of lifestyle, you need to do things the way you like. Okay, that is one of the mistakes that I made during the contest, my contest for almost 4 years back. I didn't eat anything that I liked, and because of that, my cravings were so much, and somehow I handled it. It was very hard, but somehow I managed it. And like I said, my social life was fucked completely. I didn't have a social life. I was completely isolated inside my house because I was scared if I go out I might eat something bad. So what I'm saying is there's nothing called good food or bad food. There's something called 80% of your diet should be of something that is nutritionally dense, and remaining 20% you can fit in things. That is where caloric tracking or calorie counting comes handy. Okay, now I have a lot of videos about how to track your calories, but what I would like to say in short is that tracking your calories or learning to check or track calories will take you a long way. It takes maximum, I'm telling you guys, maximum sorry guys, maximum 10 minutes in a day to track your calories, and it might take you 2 minutes per meal to just input it into your tracking app. There are a lot of tracking apps, but in my opinion you can check out MyFitnessPal. It's available in Android, it's available in iOS, so do not worry. You can, even if you have an Apple or an Android phone, you can go for it. It is a very easy free app. You can track your calories and everything. So the reason for tracking your calories is fat loss or muscle gain. Fat loss or muscle gain both work actually in a very similar way, just that for fat loss you need to be eating less than your maintenance calories, and for gaining weight or to build muscle you need to be eating more than your maintenance calories. Now, what is maintenance calories? Now, in a day, there are a lot of processes that we go through. We do a lot of physical activity. Even if we don't do physical activity, we'll be moving our hands, we'll be thinking, we'll be eating our food and digesting the food. So, all these processes, burn calories. Eating food increases the heat, and eventually you'll be burning some calories. So, overall, you'll be burning some calories in the day, and also you might be performing some exercise. So, all these things will add up and will come towards your maintenance. So to lose fat you should be burning more than your maintenance, right? So to create a negative energy balance, so what you have to do is you need to check first of all your maintenance calories. I have a video, you can search maintenance calories Shreyas, and you can check your maintenance calories. Now after that, if you want to build muscle, eat more than your maintenance calories, because you're creating a positive calorie balance, right? So that is all you should be knowing. Now, what you eat inside those calories or what you eat outside those calories do not matter. At the end of the day, if you check your app or MyFitnessPal and you see that you have hit all your caloric requirements, then good. That's all you need to do. And do not expect results in 1 week. It will take time, like I said. But over a period of time, let's assume you tracked your calories for the next 6 months and you are at a deficit for the next 6 months, you will get a very good physique. I can guarantee you that. And at the same time, you've been tracking for 6 months with a caloric surplus diet, even then you will get good results. And of course, your results should be set realistically, but you will get results. So these are the basics about losing fat and building muscle. Now there are people who question saying, should I be eating only oats for my carbohydrate source, or should I be eating only brown rice? That doesn't matter, guys. As long as you have a meal with all nutrients, as in all macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates and fats, there's no chance of any bad thing happening to your body, and you might gain fat or whatever. That won't happen. So if you ask me, like I said, 80% of my diet or 70% of my diet will be consisting of all the nutritionally dense food. For carb source we'll talk about that later, but nutritional dense, which so-called healthy food, right? A meal example can be brown rice, chicken breast and maybe broccoli. 70% of the diet should consist of such kind of food, but 30% is a lot. 30% of the diet you can add in foods. Maybe if you want to eat an Oreo, you can add that. If you want to have a fruit juice, you can add that. All these things can be added. Or if you play a game of football and you want to have a Gatorade, you can have that, no issue. So that is what I mean by a balanced diet. This is called flexible dieting, and the same goes for uh, gaining weight or gaining muscle. All you should be worried is about your caloric intake. As long as you stay in a deficit, you will lose fat, and as long as you are at a surplus, you will gain muscle, and of course you will gain a little bit of fat. Now, coming to one of the biggest myths that's been going around in India, I'm tired of this, is about cutting carbs. Carbohydrates. What? First, let me talk to you about all the macronutrients. Now, the macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. According to our body, proteins and fats are the essential macronutrients, but carbohydrate is a non-essential macronutrient, which means that your body can still survive without carbs, as in carbohydrates. Okay, so let's assume you don't eat rice for 500 days or any kind of carbs for the next 500 days, you will not die. So in that way, you're safe. But at the same time, carbohydrate is also the primary source of energy for our body, right? So what happens is, if you do not take carbohydrates and only take fats and proteins, most of the times your body will be deprived of proper energy source. Even your brain runs on glucose, so you might feel lethargic throughout the day. You might feel tired, dizzy, or whatever. People say that after a few days you tend to get better, but in my honest opinion, sorry guys, I've done diets like low carb or ketogenic diets. After a few days, it starts to kick in and my energy levels will be low. If it works for you, good for you. But I believe when you're looking for a transformation, you should always do something sustainable. Otherwise, you will end up rebounding and you'll gain back all the weight or lose all the weight that you gained. So coming back, macronutrients. I hope you understood about the essential and non-essential macronutrients. But carbohydrates are the primary source of energy for your body. Now, when we work out with weights, now I'm talking about weight trainings. Okay, weight training is an anaerobic activity, and the primary source of energy is what? Glycogen. Now, what is glycogen? Now, when you eat carbohydrates and your carbohydrates are goes into your bloodstream, and there's a lot of glucose. What happens is those carbohydrates go into your muscle and get stored as glycogen. Okay, and when you maybe lift something heavy, or when you go to the gym and do some squats or any kind of exercise, that is when glycogen gets used. If you just walk on the road for 2 hours, most of the time glycogen will not be used. Little bit will be used, but most of the times fat will be used as a source of fuel. So remember, for weight training, you need carbohydrates. Now, I will never talk about just losing weight, in a transformation. I always believe losing weight and building muscle is more important in a transformation. So I'll talk on that basis. Now, if you are trying to lose fat and you are at a caloric deficit, first of all, your energy levels will be low. Okay, that is the first thing that I'll tell you. As you go deeper and deeper into your fat loss, your energy levels will be slightly low. So carbohydrates will come in very handy. Carbohydrates not only aid in building muscle, or lifting heavy weights. It also helps in your overall energy levels in the day. Now, when people tend to deprive themselves of a lot of carbs, your leptin levels also go down, and what happens, you tend to you'll not at all feel good, and you'll be having a lot of cravings. So my thing is, you should always check your calories, and as long as you check your calories, you will be absolutely fine. So carbohydrates are not bad. Carbohydrates are bad when you eat too many calories in a day. So if you are eating 1800 calories and you're at a deficit of 300, and you're eating 200 grams of carbs, there's no way in hell that you will you will gain weight. If you gain weight, then you're tracking your calories wrong, or you are not creating enough deficit. So what you can do is, you can do some extra work in the form of cardio, or you can just reduce your calories a little bit. So remember guys, carbohydrates are not bad. Now, complex carbohydrates is what people suggest you should go for, and again, I believe that as long as you have a complete meal, it doesn't matter. So just have a complete meal comprising of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, another thing is about protein. I've seen a lot of people under eating on protein, because they think it's expensive, or Indian diet is such that, or Indian lifestyle is such that most of them are vegetarians or vegans. And of course, we know that vegan and vegetarian diets are deficient in protein most of the time. So because they just tend to eat carbs, rice, and more rice, and all traditional Indian food. So protein is very important, I believe that. And I've seen a lot of my success rate with training clients for non-vegetarians is better, I would say, than vegetarian clients, right? So I'm not talking in as far as fat loss is concerned. I'm talking more about building muscle. Okay, building muscle requires protein. Your muscle is protein. Don't call, if you want to call something some other name for your muscle, just say protein. Okay, and proteins are made up of amino acids. So that is where we lack, and that is why you are not getting the transformation of your dreams. Getting in enough protein is absolutely important. Now there are two types of protein intake. One is medically recommended protein intake, and the other is for athletic performance, which is 1 gram per kg of body weight for medical, and or 2 grams per kg of body weight for athletic performance. You can even go up to 1.8 grams of protein per kg for athletic performance, but I would recommend 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight for athletic performance, which is building muscle and losing fat. So what does protein do? Now you go to the gym, you work hard, you hit all your muscles, and muscles need recovery, right? So what protein does is, there's something called muscle protein synthesis, which means if you train your chest today, right, your chest muscles required to be healed and required to be grown into more size, right? So if you need more size, you need to rebuild up. So for that, that rebuilding process is called muscle protein synthesis, and for that you need protein. So for that to happen, you need to get enough protein in a day. So what are the best sources of protein? I wouldn't say there are any best sources of protein, but for non-vegetarians, that would be chicken, eggs, okay, whole eggs. Okay, you do not have to worry about egg yolks. Chicken, whole eggs, fish, and whey protein is really a good source of protein, especially if for the ease, you can just get a scoop of whey and get 25 grams of protein. So whey protein can really help you if you can't eat enough food. So these are some of the non-vegetarian source of protein. For vegetarian source of protein, you can go for cottage cheese, I mean paneer, soy chunks, skim milk, yogurt, curd, and a lot of things like dal, all kinds of dal. They are also really good for to get your protein intake. And I made a video on that. Again, you can check vegetarian bodybuilding Shreyas Kamath. So all those things. So a vegetarian can build the same amount of muscle as a non-vegetarian, as long as you get enough protein. So protein is very, very important, guys. Do not forget about protein. Now fats, again, big myth in India. Fats make you fat. That is not at all true. Fats are also really important, especially for a longer duration thing. Now if you're walking for 1 hour and you don't want to feel tired, then you might need fats. And if you are a teacher or someone who is just standing around for 1 hour and moving around, you will also need fats. So fats are also really important for anything, and fats also promote your hormonal health as well. Okay, so getting enough fats in your diet is also important. I would suggest, no matter what your body weight is, get at least 40 grams of fat in a day. And you can get healthy fats. The source of fats would be, even fish fat is good, it's not bad. Other source of fat would be flax seeds, chia seeds, olive oil, coconut oil, almonds, cashews, all kinds of nuts, walnuts. These are some of the best source of fats. Peanut butter is also good. So all these are the best source of fat. So fats are also really important. So I hope I cleared things about dieting, right? And that this is where people lack, and this is very simple. Did I say anything that was so hard to understand? No. Everything that I mentioned was really easy. The problem is there's a lot of conflicting information on the internet, and poor people, they get confused and they try different things. Eventually they'll not reach anywhere. So if you know the real facts and whatever I mentioned are facts, you can cross check. If you have any doubts regarding that, just cross check, and you'll know what I meant. Okay, so that is the thing about diet. Okay, and how much weight loss can you expect in a week, or how much fat loss can you expect in a week? Fat loss rate depends on your overall body fat percentage. A person who is 35% body fat, or which means 35% of his weight is fat, he can lose more weight than a person who is maybe 15% body fat. But approximately for obese people, you can lose up to 2 kgs in a week, but eventually it will slow down. But for a person who is healthy, you can lose up to 500 grams in a week. 500 grams is really safe, and you will maintain most of your muscle. Your goal should be, maintaining muscle while losing fat. That should be your main goal, right? So that is all, and you need to keep realistic goals, guys. Having realistic goals is the most important thing, and 90% of the people fail because of unrealistic expectations. So realistic expectations is very important. So I hope I cleared things about dieting, and also our diets like keto diet or intermittent fasting or Atkins diet or paleo diet. All these things are important. Unless and until your doctor has advised you to follow this kind of diet, I wouldn't suggest you follow this. They do not have any superior features that when you compare them to normal caloric counted or caloric deficit or caloric surplus diet. So I hope I cleared things about dieting. Now working out, this is where people take it easy. I feel training in the gym is very important for longevity of your life, and also your joints and everything, right? So training in the gym properly is also very important. Now for a beginner, and 90% of the people who are actually looking for a transformations would be beginners. So as a beginner, you should go to the gym 3 times a week, and your main concentration should be on all the compound movements, right? I believe in this. I even if I have a choice of going to the gym thrice a week now, all the exercises that I will do will be compound movements. Now, what are the exercises that you should be doing? You can do squats, bench press, deadlifts, rows, pull-ups. More than enough, guys. 5, 6 exercises, and you'll have a very good physique in the next 6 months. Do this thrice a week. I have a beginner program as well on my YouTube channel. You can check them out. It's for free. It's a 1 year plan for beginners, and I have a plan for intermediates as well, and I have a free diet plan for skinny people as well. All these things are free as well, so you can check them out. So going to the gym 3 times a week for 1 year is really important, and as long as you go to the gym, you will naturally gain strength, and the more strength you gain, the more muscle you put. This is absolutely true for any beginner or anyone who's been lifting for less than 5 years. Until 5 years, the more strength you gain, the better. After that, you tend to not gain so much strength very easily. So after that, always strength might not mean muscle. So you might have to do various kind of things like periodizing your program to such a way that you have a variety of training protocols. But nevertheless, for beginners, just go to the gym, perform all compound movements. Now what are compound movements? Compound movements are when you do an exercise, or it's a multi-joint exercise, which means two joints or one more than one joints are in play. Now when you do a bench press or a chest press, your shoulder joints are moving, your elbow joint is moving, so you are hitting different muscles. Now when you move elbow joints, your triceps are being worked. When your shoulder joints are moving, your chest is being worked. So any multi-joint exercise will hit different muscles. So if you do a squat, every part of your lower body will actually be worked, especially your quadriceps or your front part of your thighs and your butt or your glutes. Okay, so all these exercises again, pull up will train your complete back, and also your biceps. But after a couple of years, you might have to add other exercises as well. But for the first 2 years, the exercises that I mentioned, like rowing, pull-ups, and bench press, squats, and push-ups as well. I'm not even joking. Push-ups with weights on your back, and squats and deadlifts. These are more than enough. Deadlifts works your complete posterior chain, which means the complete back part of your body. So that will completely add mass onto your body. And to gain mass or to lose fat, like I said, diet. Count your calories, track your calories. That's all you should be doing in order to you know uh, reach your results. So if you don't go to the gym and diet, you won't lose enough fat or build enough muscle. If you just go to the gym and don't diet, you will not get results. So forget, or just dump this thing, or dump this mentality of 80% diet and 20% training. is enough to get a good physique. Just dump that thought. But of course, if you are happy with being a mediocre athlete, or a mediocre, if you have you're happy with having a mediocre looking physique, good for you. Then do whatever you want, right? But if you want a good athletic, physique, where people actually ask you, did you use performance enhancing drugs? Then you need to put 100% into both of that, so that 100% can be fun as well, right? So I talked about two things. I talked about the diet aspect, I talked about the workout aspect. Now for transformation, all these things that I mentioned are more than enough. Now I'll talk a little bit about supplements as well. People tend to ask a lot about supplements, whether supplements are necessary for a transformation. Absolutely not, guys. I started using supplements like 5 months, I think 5 or 6 months before I got ripped, which is like uh, like almost for 50% of the times, or 50% of the duration, I didn't even use any supplement. The first supplement that I ever took was creatine. Creatine can be beneficial. It helps you perform one or two extra reps. But if you're a guy who's doing just 15-20 reps in the gym, creatine will not be effective. Creatine will be effective only if you're doing any kind of heavy or high intense movements which last for very less amount of time. In that way, creatine can help you get some one or maximum up to two extra reps. So creatine is beneficial. And then another supplement that I used was whey protein, because I used to go to college. It was hard for me. Remember, I was not making money that time, so I had to depend on my parents, and they wouldn't let me buy whey protein like that. So I had taken one scoop of whey, I think somewhere in college, and sometimes one scoop of whey before my workout. So protein supplements can be really useful. Other supplements that I would recommend would be a vitamin D3 supplements, and this supplement is not actually talked by a lot of people. We get vitamin D from a sun. Okay, that's this natural source of vitamin D. Then sometimes they add vitamin D in milk products. Okay, just to make sure you get it. But for 2,000 to 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 is recommended, so I would recommend that as well. And other than that, you wouldn't need anything, guys. As long as you eat your fruits and vegetables, you're more than enough. That is the beauty of following a healthy lifestyle rather than a lifestyle which is forced upon you. In a healthy lifestyle, because you're eating all the source of food, you do not need vitamin supplements or supplements that cost a lot of money. You can save a lot of money. And then there are supplements that beginners, this is when you are most liable to buying supplements, because you think everything works just because of the name. Like example, fat burner, glutamine, everything. These supplements do not work. For more information on supplements, you can check my channel out. But these are the only supplements that you would need. And if you still can't afford for them, no problem, but just make sure you hit your dietary requirements through your diet, right? So this is something about supplement. Now when you're a beginner, right, guys, I train a lot of beginners. Even though I train more of advanced and intermediate people, I do not train a lot of beginners. But whichever whoever are beginners and I've trained them, their complaints have been a lot. Okay, and of course I blame them as well. But I hope after this video, you are more responsible from where you take information. I always believe if you go to the gym, you should be at least knowing 5% of the basics, so that you do not have to take anyone's help in the gym. In foreign gyms, there are nothing called floor trainers, or there's nothing. Maybe there'll be people, a couple of people for safety, but you just need to know what you have to do. So start learning some things before you even enter the gym, so that you're safe and you do not get bullied by the trainers or others in the gym, or forcefully made to do certain things. Here are the few things that can happen. When you're a beginner, you're really desperate. You want results. That is the main reason you go to the gym. So there are trainers or people in the gym who might recommend you, to take certain pills or certain vitamins, which are usually steroids, just that you are ignorant. So don't be an ignorant person. Ignorance is very dangerous. Okay, so do not take any kind of pills. Just make sure you're well educated or well knowledgeable before you even enter the gym. If that's the case, you'll be safe in the gym, right? So learn as much as you can before you even go to the gym. Only then you'll be safe. Other things that people are made to do, especially if they're fat, is lot of crunches, lot of sit-ups, and lot of reps. You don't have to do that. You just go by the flow, or go with the flow, and lift whatever weights you can lift in the gym. So as a beginner, you won't be able to do a lot of work. Of course, you have to build that work capacity, right? So just make sure you don't force anything upon you, or don't let anyone force anything upon you. And do things the right way. And to do things the right way, you need to watch people like me, man. You need to watch Shreyas Kamath for proper information. And a few other myths that I would like to discuss is, if you want to lose belly fat, you want to lose hip fat, just stop doing all these side bends, side crunches, sit-ups, and lot of reps just to burn that belly fat. You can't burn that belly fat without dieting. Your body didn't, can you just ask your body to put on fat in your arms or on your butt or in places that are not visible? No, your body decides where you have to put, where it wants to put fat. I see a lot of people who have fat in their arms, but their stomach is lean. You know, one of the girls that I used to date, she had a lot of fat on her arms, but her midsection was very lean. So if you look at her midsection, you'll be like, oh, this girl doesn't have any fat, but that is not the case, right? So that all depends on your body and how it distributes, fat. So remember that, and you can't just burn belly fat by doing crunches. And the one of the reasons why you have most of the people have fat around their midsection is because there are a lot of organs, and there's subcutaneous fat, and a fat around the organs, which is visceral fat. So that's why you tend to look more thicker or more fatty or fatter in the belly section. Like, I'll give you a simple example of your forearms or your calves. There's no muscle, there's no organs there, right? So of course that your body doesn't have extra fat there, right? So eventually, to burn that fat off, you need to follow a healthy caloric deficit, 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 caloric deficit. I hope I made myself clear on that, guys. So caloric deficit is very important, for you to lose fat. So these are few of the myths, and there are a lot of myths that I can go on. I have made hundreds of videos, and most of my videos are dissing all the fitness myths that are available. So these are the few guidelines that you should be following, to have a great transformation. I do not believe in mediocrity. If you do something very mediocre and you're happy with that, then good for you. But we on this channel, we don't believe in that. So basically, I just gave you a 40-minute podcast, and you can just listen to this while you're doing cardio and just get a good transformation. So I just wanted to give you a perspective. That's all. I don't want to force anything upon you. I don't want to give you a lot of gyan or any science in this video. I just wanted to put out the basic guidelines. Now that I'm ending this podcast, I would like to know your feedback. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the people wouldn't have reached here. Or if you have reached here, I'm pretty sure you just hit the forward button, right? Because nobody got 42 minutes to watch my video, but they got 42 minutes to watch Big Boss or any TV show, but they won't watch Shreyas Kamath, right? Because it's boring. But if you guys still reached here, I would be more than happy if you can comment or email and let me know what you guys thought about this. And if you want me to make more podcasts like this, because you guys don't like my face, but you like my voice, right? So I hope you all got something from this. Like this video, share it with your friends, download it, listen, make your friends listen, make your family listen, make your neighbors listen, make the whole country listen, guys. I'll be more than happy with that, and I'll thank you with more of these podcasts. Maybe in the next one, I'll have someone with me to talk about their experiences as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Instagram, follow me on Instagram or whatever, follow me on Facebook, follow me everywhere except when I'm on the streets. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll be back again. Peace out.